of the viewers watching, she's quoting what her boyfriend
showed her online
was saying. This isn't what you believe.
No.
Okay, just want to get that out there before the censors come in and shut the podcast down. Okay, and so, so he showed you some movies. You watched some of them.
Yeah.
You said it took months to get through. He had a library.
There was 12 movies.
12 movies.
Like
you don't have to tell us which,
movies.
but
They were like 2 hour long, like
they're
like James Patterson movies.
Documentaries or
Yeah, documentaries.
Okay. It became obvious to you that he was
insane.
Okay, so you broke things off. However, during the time when you were watching movies, what happened?
I got pregnant, and
but not just, you didn't just get pregnant, you what?
have a child.
No, but you said, okay, so you said, so you faltered on your morals.
Oh, yes.
Split it, Nick. And you had sex for the first time.
Yes.
And you got pregnant the first time.
Shut up.
You
Yeah.
had sex.
Yes.
And so you're making some fun.
Awful. That would just be so awful.
So to be clear, just to recap,
No offense at all.
Recapping here, you split, lost your virginity to a Nazi,
Yeah.
and got pregnant by him. Oh, that's a first for the Whatever podcast. And did you continue seeing him, or?
No, I pretty quickly when I realized like how far like his insanity was, I broke things off.
Okay, but like, did you continue hooking up, or like?
No.
Wait, so hold on. Have you dated since?
No.
Wait, so hold on. Oh my God, I didn't even know this part of it. Wait, so you've had one time?
Yeah.
I'd be upset. I'd really upset.
I know, right?
Wait, you had one singular time. You got pregnant by a.
Yeah. I got some great luck.
Wow. Okay. And how old is your kid?
She's almost 15 months old.
Okay. So you haven't dated at all? No other guys?
No.
Poor
He's
girl's
kinda scarred
probably
me.
traumatized.
You're like one night away from like the Immaculate Conception.
Yeah, she's like, oh, poor thing. She did get scared
Andrew,
away.
do
Like,
you have any thoughts here?
I'm very skeptical of this story. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit skeptical. You mind if I ask a few questions about it?
Sure.
So, you meet this guy, and he basically is gradually trying to show you these various movies and things like this. And is he a part of your child's life still?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
He just like gave up on all that, doesn't want anything to do with it?
He wanted to be a part of her life, but then when I said he wouldn't have to pay child support, he just never responded to any of my texts past that.
Oh, so you just like exempted him?
Yeah, I don't want him to be a part of her life. I don't need that kind of stuff.
Okay, gotcha. And this was the only guy you've ever been with, ever?
I've dated other people, but I've always believed in saving yourself for marriage, which is, so, yeah.
But I mean, you didn't marry him, right?
No, I was at a low point in my life and made some poor decisions.
Wait, one clarifying question. So, like, what date was it that you guys hooked up? First date, second date, third date?
It was kind of complicated since I was in the Army. We were texting for a while, but we didn't have the opportunity to hang out and everything. And it wasn't like, we didn't label it as like, oh, this is our first date or whatever. But
well, how many times?
I think we were together for a few months.
So you guys had hung out in a romantic sense for a couple times previous, at least. Okay. Huh.
And he was in the army as well.
Yes.
Okay. Were you guys in the same unit or?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, and that's how you met.
Yeah, we were both in med hold, so we both got injuries from the army, and that's when we met.
Huh.
Was this like basic training? You got injuries or?
It was
AIT.
AIT.
AIT. Okay. And so you guys meet there.
Oh,
the
sorry.
sparks.
Living_underscore donated
Sorry, 1 second,
$100. Are you going to be able to teach your kid English, or will it only be able to know German? Also, this is still less of a red flag than horse girls.
Oh, wow, look at that, Priya. Do you want to respond to that, Priya? Less of a red flag than being a horse girl.
Live by that and see how it works out for you. I don't know.
Okay. Andrew, go ahead. You had a...
Okay, so you're on med hold. You're in AIT. Were they like out processing you, or what was going on?
Yeah, we were both
with all
getting
that?
out processed.
Okay, gotcha. So you're being out processed from med hold, and you meet him, and you don't know anything about the stuff. Nothing.
Correct, yeah.
He just sprung it on you one day.
He kind of brought it up like as a joke, and turns out it wasn't a joke.
Okay, and then how did you react to it?
I was like, okay, peace out. Like, this is not for me. But then he was all like, no, it's not as bad as you think. Like, it's not like that. Like, there's all these negative connotations with that. But he said he likes everybody. He's not like, sexist, racist, or anything. Turns out all that was a lie. But
Did he? Okay, so he brought this up before you slept with him?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't really tell him, bug off and that kind of thing, right? He told you he was a Nazi and you
Well, he didn't say
slept
he was
with
a
him.
Nazi.
You slept with him, right? Like, that's what happened, right?
He said National Socialist, and I don't really know what that means. I'm like, he said he just has more traditional values than typical people. And I'm like, well, that's kind of what I am. I don't like, most modern type liberals and everything. I'm very conservative. So he's all like, oh, I'm traditional. I'm like, well, me too.
But you were watching these movies and whatnot before the act, right? Like, that happened before the act, right?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so then, you kind of, I'm sure you must have put 2 and 2 together if you're watching these, pro-propaganda movies and, right? You figured it out before then, right?
I didn't realize how, bad it was, yeah. But I don't know. We only had watched a few, 2 of them at that point. And they had a way of making it seem like, it's not as bad as everybody thinks it is. Like, they didn't say, oh, we're, neo or whatever. So I don't know. It was just slowly I realized, oh, this guy's, super racist and super sexist.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I don't want to belabor the point and stay on this for too long, but I was just curious if we could maybe get a little more info on that.
Do you have a thing for men in Prussian military uniforms?
No.
Okay, just curious.
This was going to become a matchmaking show, so.
Wait, so you were watching a film, a propaganda film?
Yeah.
Okay. And it had an aphrodisiac effect watching National Socialist propaganda films for you, or they're very slow to progress to the point, 12 2-hour-long movies. So. Oh, you were bored. So you're like, well, can we just, he was really into the movie and you're like, what can I do to get this guy to stop watching this movie? I guess we could have sexual intercourse. Was that it? I think that was it, right?
A little bit.
Yeah. All right, fair. All right, fair enough. That's one of the craziest stories I've heard on this, one of the craziest stories I've heard on this podcast.
You're welcome.
So to recap, you were in the army, met a dude, started dating. He wanted to show you essentially Nazi propaganda. You were dating him. You were wanting to wait until marriage, but you were bored during one of the films that he was showing you, one of the propaganda films. And so one thing led to another. You lost your virginity while watching a propaganda film. You got pregnant, and first time having sex, got pregnant, have a kid.
Little baby.
Is it a son or daughter?
Daughter, yeah.
Did you name her Ava? Sorry, oh my God, that's a terrible